Crawling from the darkest, most humid crevices of our planet, they are evolutionary marvels, capable of thriving in almost any environment. These indestructible creatures have survived 3 mass extinctions, withstand a plethora of pesticides, live without oxygen for up to 40 minutes, and can endure radiation doses 15 times fatal to humans. Incredibly, they can even keep moving without their heads. They are cockroaches. Hello, it's a pleasure to meet you again. Cockroaches are among the most ancient creatures still alive on Earth. The first ancestors of cockroaches appeared during the Carboniferous period, approximately 320 million years ago. It was 77 million years later that the first dinosaurs, Nisosaurus parringtoni, emerged. More importantly, cockroaches and their ancestors have survived 3 of the 5 mass extinctions in Earth's history, which occurred at the end of the Permian, Triassic, and Cretaceous periods, approximately 250, 200, and 66 million years ago, respectively. Remarkably, their body structure has changed very little over hundreds of millions of years, indicating that they have achieved evolutionary perfection. Today, around 4,600 species of cockroaches inhabit the surface of the planet, with about 30 species familiar to humans. Cockroaches are one of the most primitive insects still alive. They are commonly found in various habitats, from bustling streets, parks, and subway tunnels, to sewage systems, as well as inside houses and buildings. Nowadays, the Fantastic Four of cockroaches, the 4 most common species worldwide, include the American cockroach, the German cockroach, the Australian cockroach, and the Oriental cockroach. On average, a cockroach is the size of a finger. Tropical cockroaches tend to be larger than temperate ones. The largest cockroach species is Megaloblatta longipennis, which reaches an impressive length of 9.7 centimeters, a width of 4.5 centimeters, and a wingspan the size of a human hand. The heaviest cockroach is the giant burrowing cockroach, which can reach up to 8 centimeters in length and weigh up to 35 grams. While in most corners of the world, humans are always trying to exterminate cockroaches, some species, like the Madagascar hissing cockroach, the Indian domino cockroach, or the Cuban cockroach, are kept as pets. In some Asian countries, like Japan and China, cockroaches are even farmed as food for humans and animals. If well cared for, the Madagascar hissing cockroach can live up to 5 years, while the average lifespan of a cockroach is about 1 year. Like humans, female cockroaches live longer than males. They begin their life cycle from eggs to nymphs and then to adults. Most cockroach species lay eggs, and their young develop inside the eggs outside the mother's body. In these species, the mother carries the eggs in a sac called an ootheca attached to her abdomen. On average, a female cockroach can lay up to 8 egg cases, producing between 200 and 300 offspring throughout her lifetime. And it would not be an exaggeration to say that cockroaches are the survival warriors, the lords of evolution, and the challengers of survival limits. I will now proceed to prove these claims. 66 million years ago, a space rock the size of Mount Everest crashed into Earth, wiping out 75% of Earth's species. Cockroaches were among the few species that survived the physical impact, which had the power of 1 billion atomic bombs. The question is, how? Actually, being big and scary only benefits you if you're a bully, but in a survival game, being small is the advantage. When the asteroid hit, the Earth's surface temperature skyrocketed. Giant creatures like the T-Rex, as long as a bus and as heavy as 2 elephants, had nowhere to hide. Meanwhile, cockroaches could comfortably shelter in small crevices, avoiding the extreme heat. After the asteroid impact, dust and sulfur dioxide filled the sky, dropping the average annual temperature below freezing for about 3 years. Even in the tropics, the average annual temperature fell from 27 Celsius to just 5 Celsius. Dinosaurs, accustomed to warm climates, quickly succumbed to thermal shock and died, while cockroaches manage to endure. It would not be an overstatement to say that the exoskeleton of a cockroach is as formidable as Tony Stark's armor. It protects them from physical impacts, provides thermal insulation, and even has holes to absorb moisture and breathe. When exposed to high temperatures, cockroaches can hold their breath for a while to avoid inhaling hot air. However, everything has its limits, and the same goes for cockroaches' heat tolerance. They will perish at temperatures above 49 Celsius or below -9 Celsius. At these extremes, their metabolism slows down, and their internal organs either dry out from the heat or freeze from the cold. Nonetheless, most of the limits of cockroaches surpass those of humans. On average, a person will die after 5 to 10 minutes without oxygen, while a cockroach can last about 40 minutes, enough time to watch nearly one half of a football match. Cockroach eggs are even more remarkable. If the temperature does not reach around 65 degrees Celsius or drop to -18 Celsius, cockroach larvae can still hatch as usual. During the post-apocalyptic food scarcity, the cockroach's indiscriminate eating habits, regardless of whether it's vegetarian or meat, fresh or rotten, help them thrive even in times of extreme resource depletion. But wait, don't look down on cockroaches for their filthy eating habits, because you might be underestimating yourself. A study on the American cockroach found their massive genome containing around 20,000 genes, which is nearly equivalent to the human genome, 20,000 to 25,000 genes. This supersized genome relative to their body size grants cockroaches several remarkable abilities, including a powerful sense of smell to find food, resistance to infections, allowing them to feed in the dirtiest places on Earth, genes that protect them against many diseases, and the ability to regrow lost limbs. To cockroaches, food is of utmost importance, as evidenced by the fact that their digestive system occupies most of their body space. The enormous genome of the American cockroach equips them with a self-detoxifying ability, enabling them to eat substances that could kill a mouse. Cockroaches are omnivores, eating bread, fruit, starch in book covers, paper, glue, dead skin, hair, dead insects, and even dirty clothes. Believe it or not, cockroaches' bodies seem to be designed to resist insecticides, as if God meticulously studied and created a creature perfectly suited for survival. First, their hard exoskeleton prevents insecticides from penetrating their bodies. Cockroaches also secrete a water-repellent wax, which pushes water away and makes it harder for insecticides to enter their bodies. And when all else fails, they have genes that allow them to metabolize certain toxic components of insecticides. Surprising, isn't it? Coexisting with cockroaches is not only mentally distressing, but their filth can also cause asthma, allergies, or even transmit salmonella bacteria, leading to serious gastrointestinal diseases such as typhoid, septicemia, and food poisoning. As a result, humans increasingly use insecticides to kill cockroaches, but this only creates even more resilient cockroaches. A 2019 study found that cockroaches can evolve to resist ivermectin, a common insecticide, in just 2 generations. That means if the grandfather cockroach died from ivermectin, the grandson cockroach would be resistant to it. To counter poisoned sugar baits, German cockroaches have even developed an aversion to glucose. Their taste receptors seem to have changed, producing a bitter taste as a danger warning when they taste sugar, rendering sugar-laced insecticides nearly useless. If you're thinking about cutting off a cockroach's legs, don't waste your time, because the American cockroach can regrow lost legs in 1 molting cycle. What about decapitation? Cockroaches can't regrow heads or bodies like Deadpool, meaning they will certainly die if decapitated, but only after 1 to 2 weeks. When a human is decapitated, we die immediately, but cockroaches are different. Their circulatory system is open with much lower blood pressure than humans. When you cut off a cockroach's head, the wound on its neck simply clots. Additionally, you need a nose on your head to breathe, a mouth on your head to eat, and a central processing unit weighing 1.3 kilograms to control all life functions. In other words, humans are too dependent on their heads to survive, while cockroaches are not as dependent. Cockroaches don't have noses. They breathe through spiracles all over their bodies, not controlled by the brain, and their reflex nerves are distributed across each body segment, allowing them to perform simple movements like standing, reacting when touched, or even walking. The severed head of a cockroach can continue to function for a few hours. Amusingly, what ultimately kills a headless cockroach is not the loss of its head, but starvation and dehydration. Cockroaches are cold-blooded, meaning their bodies don't need to burn energy continuously to stay warm like humans. Thus, a cockroach can eat one meal and then fast for a whole month without dying. However, like humans, cockroaches are less tolerant of water deprivation. They will die of dehydration after 1 to 2 weeks without water. On the internet, people often claim that cockroaches can survive a nuclear explosion. In reality, no organic structure can withstand the temperature and pressure near such an explosion. Even the radiation resistance of cockroaches is likely an exaggerated myth. Of course, cockroaches tolerate radiation much better than humans. They have simpler bodies, more efficient DNA repair mechanisms, and fewer cell divisions, meaning the destructive impact of ionizing radiation released by an atomic bomb on the genetic material of cockroaches is less severe and not as prolonged as it is in humans. This allows cockroaches to survive in environments with radiation levels 6 to 15 times higher than a lethal dose for humans. It sounds impressive until you realize that this seems to be a common trait among most insects. The parasitic wasp Habrabrachen can even withstand radiation levels 180 times higher than the lethal threshold for humans. After a nuclear disaster that wipes out humanity, cockroach populations living close to humans will thrive thanks to the enormous amount of food we leave behind. However, they will eventually face a Great Depression after their largest food supplier, us, is gone. Anyway, cockroaches have survived 3 mass extinctions. Do you think they'd be intimidated by a few more? Cockroaches are among the fastest insects. They can run at a speed of 1.5 meters per second. Don't mock them, because that's 50 times the length of their own body. If you could run 50 times the length of your body in 1 second, that would be a speed of 322 kilometers per hour. Cockroaches need only 8.2 milliseconds to transition from a standstill to full-speed running, which is 12 times faster than the blink of an eye. The secret lies in their legs. Most cockroaches have 6 legs, each with 3 knee joints, totaling 18 knee joints. With so many joints, they move with great flexibility and precision. Each leg also has tiny hairs that can detect the smallest vibrations in the air. As soon as you think about swatting a cockroach, it will immediately sense the danger and quickly escape. In the human world, we men have a very important role, which is to participate in reproduction. However, male cockroaches are not quite as necessary. In 2017, Japanese scientists discovered 15 virgin female cockroaches that gave birth for over 3 years without mating with males. All the offspring produced through parthenogenesis were female, clones of their mother, and they still had the ability to reproduce just like their mothers. We should be thankful that females cannot reproduce on their own. If there's anything scarier than a cockroach, it's a flying cockroach.
Yeah, ugly boy. He's looking at the camera. Oh my god!
Funny enough, most species of cockroaches have wings, but most of them don't know how to fly or are very poor at it. Wood cockroaches and smoky brown cockroaches are good flyers, while Australian cockroaches, Asian cockroaches, and Cuban cockroaches can fly but do so poorly. German cockroaches can't fly at all. There are 2 main reasons for this. First, for insects, cockroaches are relatively large, meaning flying requires a lot of energy. A large insect that's also clumsy in flight is an easy meal for bats and some birds, so cockroaches choose to run for safety. Finally, cockroaches are good learners, but only at night. Cockroaches trained at night can remember what they've learned for several days. However, when trained during the day, they completely lack the ability to form new memories, although they can still recall what they learned at night. Any other interesting cockroach facts I missed? Let me know in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe to join the fun. Thanks for watching and see you next time.